Hello and welcome back to me reviewing this 2007 BMW 750i. This is a late E65 generation car with the updated dangle light rear end, so you have the different tail light design right there. This car is powered by a V8, and a good one at that. Well, I shouldn't say good, it's a fucking E65 V8. But anyway, let's get into it. So, here is your, oh shoot, wrong keychain. Let's see. There we go. Here is your BMW key. It goes like that. It starts just like that. Low fuel, washer fluid, parking lamp, TPM, I know. There we go. So let's see. This car is a BMW E65 Generation 7 Series, one of the, well, it's very divisive. A lot of people do not like this car. I actually kind of like it. I'm going to be honest. I don't think they're reliable, but I like it. Put that right there. So, there we go. It is pretty nice interior, honestly. You have a lot of features. It's not a very easy car to use, to be honest. So I'll show you that during this review. We're going to do a walk around, short drive, as well as kind of go through some of the quirks of this car and why these things are so cheap. And let's get into it. So this car has 138,000 miles, 138,922, and as you can see, we have a lot of warning lights on the dash. Parking brake fault takes up 2 of those, and a seatbelt sensor takes up the other ones, as well as my TPMS light. That is caused because, well, TPMS, but 2 of those lights, the seatbelt and the airbag, are caused by a little sensor because water got on this side of the car before I bought it. Yes, that's how Mercedes and BMW roll. Yeah. But this car was a massive technological advancement for BMW. You went from the E38, which I've owned before, and didn't really do a review on that car, but you can probably find some videos of it on my channel. Those cars were, you know, of the era, so early to mid 1990s, but they ran until 2002. This car came out in 2002, and it was a huge success. It beat out the W220 S-Class in terms of sales, as well as the XJ and the Audi A8. I've already reviewed the XJ, I've reviewed the S-Class, and I think I've reviewed both generations of XJ. So I've reviewed the earlier ones as well as the later ones. So the 2003 generation that went from 98 to 03, and then also the 04 to 2009 Jaguars. But this is kind of more closer to an S-Class than the XJs. So you have, you know, interesting features like this where the vents are controlled by, you know, weird switches on the side compared to the little vent doors you usually have in most cars, including the S-Class. It also has a much more modern infotainment system with some phones, but it is kind of hard to use, and I'll show you why. So here you have your iDrive system, you go to menu, and entertainment. Let's go to entertainment for now. So let's just say that I wanted to go to FM radio. Let's turn it down first, so I'm gonna copyright it again. And let's just say that I wanted to adjust the, you know, the radio station. You could use this and go through it, but it's not very easy. So what you're supposed to do is go out of it while you're driving, press manual, and then find the radio station without doing like you would normally do, where you're supposed to do like this to turn it. A normal person would hit like this, and all of a sudden you're in navigation, which is one of the main problems with the iDrive system. It's way too complicated to use. I wish they just had buttons that I could use down here, and I get they have a couple, and I think these might work for radio. I've not tried yet, but again, it's like a little too complicated. AC controls are pretty easy. They did a pretty job with that, as well as the unlock and lock buttons right there. And like many BMWs, you have your other buttons up here for, you know, your tow mode, SOS, as well as your sunroof. Over here you have the window switches like most BMWs, as well as your mirror controls. And while I didn't like this wood originally, it is really starting to grow on me. It's very of the era. This car has electronic parking brake. That doesn't work like most cars of this era. The Jags have the same issue. Trunk button is right here, very hard to see. You have your steering wheel telescoping and telescoping, as well as heated seats, or heated steering wheel, my bad. What I don't like about this car is how this quad is set up. So right here you have your cruise control, it doesn't work anymore. You have right here, you have your turn signals, which I've never liked being turn signals. You also, these buttons, they change your displays down here. So this side you have your steering column to change the gears, and right here you have your wipers. And what's cool about this is the washers are actually inside of the wipers themselves. And again, with this, just same as the turn signals, you have to click it to turn it off, which I think is very annoying. Right here, and it's a little dirty in here, but you have storage. This is storage that's broken, and ashtray is down there. Here's seat controls. Again, very hard to use, especially if you first use this car. So this actually controls how they move, and you have to click on this to change it. So, but the lumbar support is extremely nice. You also have 3 memory settings right here, which is nice, and some storage in here. And this car does actually have Bluetooth. I need to find the code to do it, but it does have Bluetooth. Also, here you have spots for CDs. I didn't actually know we had CDs in here, as well as a lock for your trunk and what would have been a phone. I'll deal with that later. Right here you have your glove box. Like Jaguars, they have the button here, and that includes, you know, the glove box. There we go. Anyway, let's go to the outside of this car, and I'll show you kind of some more features. We're gonna pop the trunk, and I'm gonna show you the back seat. We'll show the trunk real quick first, since we're already here. Trunk, really good size actually. Very deep, as well as ski hatch, so very nice. But unlike S-Class, there's no power close, so you just have to kind of grab it wherever. But it does have a toolkit, and a first aid kit is back there as well. It does have soft close trunk though, but not soft close doors. So in the back of the 7 Series, I'm pretty tall and I still have a lot of room back here. Ashtrays right here, but I don't like the way the plastic feels. Speakers, those vents, which is very nice. These did not age as well as the front ones. You can see a little bubbling right there. Right here you have some decent space in the center console, as well as this 2000s era plastic, which I don't know, I have mixed opinions on it. Right here you have heated seats, as well as for the rear. And more of this wood, which really is growing on me. Back here you have vents for the back, and I don't like how they're angled. They can't really get, you know, my legs warm, but I guess you do have these vents right here, which helps out, as well as 2 cigarette lights, which is very nice. This seat, well, it is a 750. You could get the one where it has just 2 seats, captain's chairs, and I think I would have preferred that. Right here you have 2 cup holders, and it still works shockingly for a BMW. And then right up here you have some map lights, a larger map light, and a mirror that you can actually angle towards driver or passenger, which is pretty cool. And it is a pretty nicely sized door. One problem I have noticed with these 7 Series so far is the hydraulic right there, which controls the door opening and closing, has kind of failed. So, yeah. You also have some storage right here, which is nice, and some more back here. Anyway, let's get into driving the 750i. One more feature I should notate is that you do have parking sensors, and they're right here, and they do work. It's front and rear parking sensors. And I don't know if you can notice that, but the seat does bolster out when you open and close the door, which snugs you very nice, and I do really like it. So let's get on the seatbelt, and we'll drive the 750i. So I don't like this either. Mercedes has done it recently too, or not recently, but in the last 15 years, I've not been a fan of the Mercedes either. I like when there's an actual gear selector. I think they realized that with BMW started going back to it. Give me a second, you're gonna hear a lot of beeps and bongs. So park and brake fault, as you can see, a very common problem is these 65s. These cars have issues, and a lot of issues at that. Which is why they're so cheap. I've selling some $5,700. I've already got it fixed, and I probably didn't get that. For an S-Class with the same miles, it's not that difficult, especially in 07. But these are very nice riding cars, very quiet too. And the sound system is amazing. Not as good as S-Class. I've had D-Classes that are better, but it is very nice. And this car does really fit in with the time period. And I think they look pretty good too. I know a lot of people don't like the looks, but I personally love the looks of the E65. Jag there with a messed up rear bumper. And it's kind of low on gas, so I just kind of got back. And also you have manual power paddle shifters right here, which is cool. You change them by using this right here. I really do not like, on a side note, the 4 different stalks. They kind of went overboard with that. I wish they had changed the cruise control to the steering wheel, or did something. It's too much. Well, I try to go for the turn signals and I end up hitting the cruise control. With the wipers, you have to turn them off in the weird BMW way, the same way you turn on the turn signals. So sets down, to turn it off, you have to click it like that. But the problem is sometimes I hit the other side, so yeah, not the most fun. But let's give it a little power. And that pops up too. And again, this car is about the same price as my S600 was. There's another E65 right there. Also 750, that's an LI though. Yeah, it's about the same price as my S-Class, and this car has more problems, but it's also been taken care of a lot better. This car has a lot better maintenance. I hit it right there. This car has a lot better maintenance records than my 600, and yet it has more issues. For instance, these things have seatbelt issues, very common. The parking brake fault, very common, because the e-brake. Mercedes was still using the foot brake at this point. And I think they still were in the 212s and the 221s as well. This Jeep to pass by. And again, the prior owner who I got it from, they dumped $5,000 to it in the last few months. I know them, they've dumped $4,000 into theirs, and it's still broken. The iDrive is broken on theirs. That's crazy. These cars are just maintenance pigs. And the E68, the E38s were as well. I had a E38 750 IL, something like that, with the V12, and it had the exact same problems. That thing was always broken. It was on its 4th engine when I got it. By the time I was done with it, it was on its 5th, because the head gasket went out. So again, why would I want a car that's that much of a maintenance pig? And while these are good looking cars, I have not had good luck with BMWs. I've had let's see, this is my 8th BMW. I've had 6 E46s, or I had 5 E46s, 1 E90, this E65, and then my E38. E38 blew an engine. My first E36 was good, but it was leaning a certain way. I'd throw some codes, like that. I throw codes. My second E46 had some electrical issues. I sold that, and that was a good car. My third E46 blew an engine. No, it wasn't my fault. It just blew a head gasket just from age. My 5th one, I had a bunch of problems now, and transmission issues just from when I got it. I guess these were not well maintained cars, but I've had not well maintained Mercedes, and they last a lot longer. My 5th one was in a crash, so I kind of rebuilt that one. That one was fine. The one after that, E90, oh my gosh, I spent way too much money on that car, and it had electrical issues till I sold it. So, I don't know. If you're going for a luxury car, I would not go BMW. I would go Mercedes. I wouldn't go Audi. I might go Jag. I've had good luck with Jags. I would probably go Mercedes, though. S-Class is just, it's good. Lexus, I don't know. I've never owned a Lexus, but I've had high-mile Toyotas, but again, you're buying a luxury car. You don't want an appliance. You want something that actually has character. These cars have character, but probably a little bit too much. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This is not really a car I would recommend long-term. If you just want something to kind of beat on for a little bit until it explodes, yeah, sure, waste $3,000. But if you want something that's going to last 2 years, buy an S500, buy an S430. Those cars will last forever. An E320, amazing luxury car. Do not buy a BMW. So, hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later.